Hello! Today we'll be creating this pattern in Procreate. For this I will be using the elements that I created in my Easy Procreate Watercolors class. So if you want to watch that, I will leave a link in the description, but you can use any icons that you have created. So I'm going to create a square canvas, and that is going to be a 12 by 12 inch as RGB color mode. And what I'm going to do is bring some of my icons and create the middle of the repeat first. So I'm going to go to the gallery and I have my icons here. So I am going to bring some of the flowers first. Don't mind the cat that's walking all over the desk. And I think I'm going to be using all these flowers. So I'm going to select them all and drag them out. And with this finger, I touch gallery and I touch my new canvas. And I open my layers and I'm going to drop them off there. And now I'm going to bring in some other elements, probably from this greenery section. And I think I'm going to choose that one, this one. I'm just going to select some for now and bring them over too. So in the same way, if you don't have too many layers, don't bring in too many at once, just bring some in, work with that, and then merge layers. And that way you can free up some more space to bring in more icons. So what I'm going to do is going to start selecting these ones and making them smaller. And I'm going to build the middle of my pattern first. So I'll build this part without touching the borders. Let's say the one there. And I'm creating a multi-directional print. Flowers are great for this. And it means that you can use the print from anywhere and it won't have a right or wrong side. And this is super useful, especially if you're making fabrics, because when you're creating something, this means that you can use every piece of the fabric without having to line up like the top and bottom. And that way it creates less waste. So fabric manufacturers really like this. I'm going to bring this one to the top. And I'm touching here to select a layer, and I can choose here. If you don't know how to do that, you can go here and in your preferences, you can touch gesture controls. And here in layer select, you can customize how to select it. So right now I am pressing this button here, the one I was pressing before, plus Apple Pencil, and that will invoke layer select. So that way it's easier to select things when I have a lot of layers. So I'm trying to position my flowers first. And here I'm reorganizing them too, so that this one is on top of this one, for example. And I prefer assembling my patterns in Photoshop because the selection process is easier and faster. And they also have a pattern tool. So as I'm building this, it's showing everywhere how the repeat is working. So it's way easier, but I like doing it in Procreate just in case you don't have Photoshop or you're on the go and you need to do it. This is how I do it sometimes when I need to create a pattern and I'm on the go and I don't have access to Photoshop. So see, I placed these on top of that stem there and it's too transparent, so I'm just going to duplicate it to make it more solid and merge those two. And then I have to put this flower on top here because it was covered there. I really don't like how that's overlapping there. So I might just put it underneath that red flower, and I am going to delete the stem. Yeah, I think that's much better. I'm going to bring these two little flowers to the top and move one of them. Sorry, move one of them here. And this other one. Let's place it here for now. And I still need to build this part here. So I'm going to bring in more elements and maybe move. And maybe I'm going to select everything. And move it here to the bottom. Just so that I can keep building this part. So let's bring this one, for example. And that one has to come to the bottom here. Great. And let's bring these ones. These leaves are very good to put in the back of everything. And I'm creating a very packed pattern because that's what I love. You could be leaving more space or not even like overlapping elements. Just do whatever your style suits best. See, these leaves look so pretty like that in the back. And if you can't see the other leaves, like I think I can grab this one from here. But if you can't, you just go to your layers and select it from there. And let's make this one smaller. I'm just moving things around and eyeballing where I think they look good. I don't know, not sure about this one. I would like to put it somewhere around here, so I'm going to put it here for now. I think that works. And I'm just going to move this yellow one. Place it here. And I think the middle is pretty full. I think I want to duplicate this purple flower. So I go there and I go down with 3 fingers and duplicate. And now I can move it around. And I'm going to turn it and make it smaller. And maybe add it here. And I'm seeing there's a green thing here, which I think is a leaf. So I'm going to select that one. Yep. And I can make it way smaller and put it. Sorry, smaller, not bigger. And I can put it here. That's great. I just want to bring this one to the back. So that it's on the back of this. And I need like one more leaf there, so I'm going to go and see what I can grab from here. And I'm thinking this one would be good. So let's drag it in. Place it under here. And I'm going to place it there. And if you want to create some variation so that this flower is not the same as this one, you can just go in here and grab the hue, saturation, brightness, and you can make this one like a bit more saturated. I'm changing this one. And even change the hue a bit. So that way it's a little bit different. It's not so obvious it's the same one. I need another leaf under here. So again, I'm going to go here. And I think this one would work well. So I'm just going to bring it over. Perfect. Okay, so now I have my middle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge all these elements. And I don't mind merging them because I already have them all individually in the other file. So if I ever needed them separated, I would have them there. So we're going to create the repeat. And if you don't know how to create a half drop repeat, I also have a class on that. I'm going to leave the link in the description box. You can see the intro. I'm going to put the card up here. So whatever is cut off here has to be cut off here in the same place so that it repeats. And with the half drop, whatever is cut off here is going to repeat like in a break pattern here. So like half is going to go here and half here. Again, if you want to know the whole explanation, just go to the class. So in order for us to be able to move this around in a perfect manner, we are going to create another layer underneath and just drag any color underneath. And we are going to group this. And I'm going to duplicate this group and hide this one for now. So with this one, I'm going to go to the selection and make sure that snapping is on. And we're going to create the top and bottom repeat first. So I'm going to go up and you see the orange lines. They're telling me that it's aligned. And when I see the orange lines appear here and this circle is in the corner, it means that it's totally in the middle. So I'm going to release there and tap here. And I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom. So I go to my other group and I make it visible and I select here, and then I'm going to go down and make sure that I see the orange line and this is in the corner, and I release it there. And now I can delete my background layers and I can merge these two. And now whatever we do, we cannot touch the top or bottom here, nothing. Like we can put elements here, but we cannot put elements that are cut off. So for example, here, if I want to add an element, I want to add one of these little yellow flowers. I'm going to bring it in. And I'm going to place it here. I'm going to turn off the snapping so that I can move it wherever I want. And I'm going to place it here, but not touching the border. So this is okay, but that is not okay. This way is the only way that we're going to have our pattern repeat perfectly. So there, it's not touching. Now it's touching, but there. So I can release it there. And we're going to fill in these spaces in the middle. We're going to deal with the sides later. So I'm thinking here, I want to have another one of these pink flowers and maybe some of the stems. So I'm going to go and get that. The pink flower and maybe these other yellow ones. And because this one is the same as this one, I don't want to place them exactly the same way so it looks super obvious that it's repeated. I want to do these and maybe turn it around a bit. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. You shouldn't make your elements much bigger than they are because this is raster, so it's going to look pixelated, but just a tiny bit bigger, it's okay. Great, and I'm going to do the same thing I did with this one to change the color a bit. So go to hue, saturation, brightness, and I'm going to make it like more peachy. So at least it looks a bit different. And these little flowers that I brought in. I love using little flowers as fillers because they're great to fill in these spaces. Great. And now maybe some more leaves and little flowers. I'm going to grab those from here. And I want to try to use the ones that have little flowers too, not just leaves. So I haven't used these ones. And I maybe want another fern and maybe another one of these. And this one. So let's bring them all over. Let's drop them off behind the other elements because I want them to be behind them. And let's start moving them around. And if you're creating patterns with your elements, when you're creating the elements, think about these having variation of colors, variation of shapes, so that you have more options when you're building the patterns. Like, see, these ones are harder to place than these ones. These ones are kind of more flowy. These ones are very straight lines, so they are more static and they're harder to place for sure. That looks good. Now I want to add something here, so let's see what else we brought in. This yellow one. That works. And this red one. That's okay. I want something there. So probably that yellow one that I brought, see it's back there hiding. I could make it smaller and just... No, I'm actually going to hide it. And I'm going to delete this layer because it's been there for a long time and we don't need it. And I'm going to bring another of these yellow flowers, like duplicate this one and just bring it over here. I'm going to turn it and fill in this little gap. And this one's bothering me, so I'm going to move it. There, that's better. Yeah, I think that works much better. So now we have the middle all filled, and we're going to do the sides. So I'm not going to merge this one because I didn't use it and I want to use it later. So I'm going to merge everything else. And I am going to create a new layer, fill it in with this color, and bring it underneath. And I'm going to create a group with them. And now I'm going to duplicate that group. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing, but to the side. So now I'm going to turn on my snapping and bring this to the left. And see, that's in the corner. Orange lines appear. So that's perfect. And now we're going to do the side. If we wanted to do a normal repeat, so something that repeats like this, like that, then we would just bring this forward and we would be done. Like we fill the middle and we're done. But because we're creating a half drop, we have to bring these to the side and then to the bottom, and then to the side and to the top. So I'm showing you how to do that. Let's grab this group, bring it to the left, and again, it's precisely in the corner. And now I'm going to release and duplicate this group. So now I'm going to move this one up. Sorry, let's make that straight so you can see. And again, orange lines appear, that's in the corner, so that's perfect. And then I'm going to bring this one down. So see, the images here must match. So that's how you know this is correct. And now we're just going to fill the middle, sorry. And you cannot touch the top and the bottom, because if you do, you'd have to repeat that here. But we're just going to place something here that barely touches the border and then fill in these spaces. So I might just use another one of these flowers for that. And then another one of these maybe. So let's grab this one and this leaf. And I'm going to bring it underneath here. Sorry, I forgot to delete the background. And merge these three. So now we're going to build this part here. So I don't want to put this flower here because it will be too close to this one. Let's turn off the snapping. I want to put this one here. Maybe facing the other way. And you can decide if you want to put it on top of the other layers or underneath. I want it underneath these layers. But I want it to be on top of this leaf. So if I bring it up, it will cover these and these, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is tap here and select, and that way these will be selected. And now when I go to this part and I erase, it will only erase the parts that this flower is overlapping. So there, now it looks like it's on top of this leaf. And let's move this one. And I'm getting super close to the border, but not touching it. So let's place that one there. And now we can unhide this one and move it up. So the other one of those is here. Oh, that looks pretty good there. Sorry about the dog. And now I just want to fill this part here. So I'm thinking like a long straight one. So, and I'm going to bring this fern too because it's great for filling things in, or even this one. And I'm just going to try a bunch of these and see what works there. So I'm bringing them all in and I'm going to put them underneath. Let's start with this one. See if that works. Oh, that works pretty well there. And then let's try this one because it's here. I'm going to hide these other ones so I can see what's happening. That might work, but I want it on top of everything, so I'm going to bring it up. And I like it, but again, I need to erase these here. So here it seems very easy to erase this part, so I'm not going to do what I did in the other one. Like use the selection, I'm just going to erase straight up, and I like it. Okay, now because it's still very transparent, see, I'm going to duplicate it and merge it, and that way it's less transparent. I think that works way better. And now I just want to add something here. Let's see if this one works. And I'm just going to bring one of these little ones. Okay, let's try this one. Yeah, that's perfect. And maybe it needs one of these little yellow ones. So I'm going to go and grab one of those. Put it here on top. Select it and place it here. I'm going to make it a bit smaller and rotate it. Yeah. And I like adding little dots to fill in like extra spaces that I left. So I'm going to be using my Ultimate Fill Rough brush. If you don't have my brushes yet, my watercolor brushes for Procreate, make sure you sign up to my newsletter and you can get them for free. And there's other tons of freebies there. Plus, you'll get monthly creative briefs in your inbox. And I am going to choose yellow. Let's try yellow. And in a new layer, I'm just going to draw some little filling shapes. Again, I'm not touching the border, and I'm just going to go around and not overdo these because I do love super full patterns, but I want to let this pattern breathe. So I'm just going to do it in some areas that have like, the spaces are too big. So when you see it, like it kind of bothers you because it feels like it's missing something there. I'm getting very close to the border here, but not touching it. And I like how that looks. So now we're just going to have to test our pattern. We can give it any background we want just by touching here. And then you can go ahead and try different colors from your palette. Ooh. I always like teals. Love teals and dark backgrounds. That is so pretty. See, like dark backgrounds. Oh, it's my favorite. But I'm trying to create less dark backgrounds for my licensing portfolio because I have too many things with dark backgrounds. But like, look at that. It's so perfect. I think I'm going to create a version like this. There has to be a dark version. Okay, so I love the green. I really like this one, maybe making it a bit lighter. And I actually liked the pink one. And because it's Mother's Day today and I'm recording these, and I paint flowers because my mom and my grandma absolutely love flowers, then I might have to choose the pink background. Yeah, I'm going to make it more of a coral. Okay, I like this. So, how are we going to test this? Now I'm going to merge all my elements. So now I'm going to duplicate this layer, and I'm not going to touch this one because I want to keep this one big. This is my tile, so I don't want to reduce the size of that one. So just keep it hidden. And if you want to know that that's your original, just name it so you know. And then this one, I am going to make sure that snapping is on. And I'm just going to reduce it to 1/4 of the size. And I'm going to duplicate that again and bring it down. And you will see that it matches. See, there's no gaps here where the pattern cuts off. And now I'm going to duplicate it again. And if this was a normal pattern, like a normal repeat, and you brought it to the side, it would match, but you see that it doesn't match. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this one to the middle, and you'll see that it will snap there and it will actually match. Perfect. So what you have to do is now duplicate this one again and move it to the top, and duplicate this one again and move it to the middle. And then if you merge everything except your original, you'll be left with a perfectly repeating pattern. And now, sorry mom, I'm going to change that pink because I really don't like it now. And I can either go with this cream color here, or I'm definitely loving this dark green. Okay, so since I can't decide what color, I'm going to leave it like this. And here, when I see my pattern, I can see a little bit of flaws. And it's mainly because doing it in Procreate, you cannot see how the repeat is going to end up looking like. So here, it's kind of obvious that this is the line. Like, see, I don't know, there's more space here than any other place, but it's still a nice pattern. So now if I want to save this, I want to share, save as a JPEG. And then I'm going to save it to my iPad. And if I want to save another version, because I cannot decide which background is better, I can go do the same thing. And then I'll have both versions. And that's it. So remember to subscribe to the channel and hit like. And check out the links in the description and follow me on Instagram. And I can't wait to see you again. Bye!